Hey guys, it's Rick. Welcome to the HDVIBE channel. If you'd like to see more tips, tricks, rides, reviews, installs on my Harley-Davidson Tourer motorcycles, as well as information about motorcycles and the motorcycle community at large, I ask you please hit that subscribe button. And when you do subscribe, please leave a comment down below saying I subscribe so I can personally reach out and thank you for supporting the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon and select all so you do get notified every time I do put out new content. So today, I'm going to take out this 2022 Pan America Special for a demo ride, test ride, and we'll get into it right after this. So guys, I'm out on a 2022 Pan America Special. My first time on a Pan America, and we're up here at demo days at Gateway Harley-Davidson. The demo truck is here. I'm able to get out and ride a number of the 2022s. And so I had the opportunity here to get this Pan America out, which, if you don't know, it has the 1250 Rev Max engine. This is my first time on this type of sport touring bike or dual sport bike or whatever these things are supposed to be called. Yeah, this bike obviously sits up pretty tall because it is this, I don't know, sport touring, a dual sport adventure kind of bike. I think I actually have it in sport mode right now. So it is torquey. So I think this one actually has the lowering suspension as one of the options. So when you do come to a stop, the suspension will lower, and then when you get back up to speed, it picks back up. But these bikes are pretty nimble, and this thing goes. It's got some pretty good pickup here. So it obviously has the mid controls, more for your sport touring or adventure touring bike. It has hand grip sort of blocks up here. The screen is all digital in terms of giving you your speed, as well as your tachometer is digital. It does have the turn signals all on the left side, so for your right and left, it does on the left side of the bike. Your start is up on the right handlebar, a little different than the touring bikes. So obviously, as you all know, I generally ride and have touring bikes, so this is something a little bit different. I do believe the windshield can be adjusted upwards and downwards. But this seems like it could be a fun bike to kind of tool around on. So obviously the exhaust note is not much. I'm trying to decide if it actually is going down or not here, the suspension. I'm not sure, but you know, I'm not a real tall guy. 5'10", about a 31 or 32 inch inseam. You know, I could get on this bike, I can flat foot it, but it's not, there's no gap between me and the seat, that's for sure. It seems like a pretty nimble bike from my perspective. You know, I think it would be good for kind of tooling around town, and maybe, I mean, I guess if you had saddlebags and the like on it, you could tour with this thing. I don't know that I would necessarily want to do that, but it's not terrible in the grand scheme of things. And this one is in the, I guess, I'm not sure, it's almost like a grabber blue and white. But it is pretty light. I can kind of flip this thing around and not really fear all that weight going one way or the other. I'm not sure what the actual curb weight is. I'm guessing it's probably in the between 500 and 600 pounds. So not too bad from that perspective. Pretty nimble. And certainly something that I would not be afraid of in kind of getting around traffic in. It's got plenty of torque. There we go. See, that thing just absolutely took off when I cleared that intersection. And as far as handling, definitely is a very maneuverable bike. I mean, you push right or left on those handlebars and this bike is going to go where you want it to go. So from that perspective, pretty good. So the one thing you guys generally hear me talk about when it comes to these bikes is the suspension and the seats are always, I think for me, especially on the touring bikes, is kind of my personal challenge that I have with these bikes. This one, I will say, again, I haven't hit any big bumps, but suspension wise, it feels pretty good. And this seat is nice and firm. As you know, I prefer Saddlemen seats, which are pretty firm. This one, I think I could actually maybe even live with. So I would give that a thumbs up from my perspective on the seat and suspension. I think if I compare this Revolution Max 1250 versus the 975T on the Nightster, I think I like this 1250 better. It just seems a little bit smoother, maybe. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, or maybe it's just got that much more power, but this is a pretty comfortable ride. Again, I think the only thing I'd have to get used to is just this mid controls, which I probably have said on all the bikes that I've been able to ride so far today and taking the groups out. But you know, I think that's just me coming from the touring bikes with the floorboards to these mid controls. You get a little bit of wind flow, but with this windshield, I think it might actually be sort of in the middle position. I'm not getting wind in my face. It's kind of coming right up over my helmet and actually kind of going right into the vents. I would say, guys, if you have the opportunity to get out and check out these bikes on a demo day, I would highly encourage or recommend that you do that, because it gives you obviously the opportunity to get out and try out these bikes that you may be thinking about. You may end up going out on a demo ride and finding out a bike that you thought you were going to fall in love with, you absolutely cannot stand it. So this is the best way. I mean, you get a little bit more time, probably more than a sales demo ride. You have the opportunity of, you know, in this case today we have 17 bikes that came in on the Harley Davidson truck to get out and check these bikes out. But yeah, this bike is feeling pretty good. Lots of torque. This thing will take off, there's no doubt. Nice view from the mirrors. The mirrors are big, kind of high up, so you get a good view behind you. Obviously, with these mid controls and up on these pegs, if you needed to kind of get up off the seat, there's no problem, as you may have just seen. I think I'd love to take this thing out and do a little off-roading with it, just to see on some trails how it performs. But it's got plenty of power, and I would say even these I'm getting used to these smaller shift levers and pegs, but this is pretty easy for me to shift as compared to the Nightster and the Lowrider ST that I rode a little bit earlier today. And again, we're kind of running through a very historic Jefferson Barracks National Park, where many of our fallen heroes are buried in the National Cemetery here. Earlier today, we saw a funeral procession being escorted by the Patriot Guard Riders, which, as you know, I am part of the Patriot Guard Riders, and if you'd like to see a couple videos on that, one is an actual mission that I did last fall for Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. Check that out up here. I'll have a link down in the description as well. Also, check out another video I did just kind of talking about the Patriot Guard Riders and what they do and what it's all about and why Patriot Guard Riders do what we do, for those that kind of have paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to live in this free country. So yeah, this thing will get up and go. There's no question. I will say this engine, man, it is. I feel heat coming off of both sides of this, and it's not really a very hot day. So I think this is also liquid cooled, if I'm not mistaken. So don't quote me on that, but I'll definitely put a link down or in the description, some more information about the Pan America with specifics. But yeah, this engine feels like it's pretty hot. I mean, usually you feel it on your right, but I feel it coming off the left side of the bike. So that would be interesting to see if there's something to help manage that heat coming off the left side of the bike. So it does have the those kind of laced wheels on this bike, although they look like spokes, but they're not spokes, and they're definitely a tubeless tire on this. Clearing through a little traffic here. Let's see if we can get this thing. Holy cow. Well, I don't know if how that will show up on camera, but this thing just flat takes off. I think I'm in sport mode, I believe. But yeah, whew, this thing is wicked fast. Quick, I would say. It's just off the line. It's just unbelievable. So I would definitely, on this one, if you guys have an opportunity and have any interest to see what these new Revolution engines are like, if you have the opportunity to check one out at demo days, or if your local dealership has a Pan America Special in stock that they'll let you kind of take out and give it a little test ride, man, I would definitely try it out and see what you think, because this thing is, man, it's something. Yeah, this is a pretty comfortable bike. Like I said, I think the only complaint that I would have with this bike is just the amount of heat that's coming off the left side of this bike. I mean, it is a lot. Typically on the touring bikes, you feel that heat coming off the right side of the bike, and I don't know if it's the way the exhaust is set up or what, but man, it is hot on the left. But it's very nimble. Suspension feels good. Seat feels good. Wind is good. There's there's like no wind at all right here from this windshield. It's pretty much blocking everything. Nothing coming up from the sides from a wind perspective. Pretty comfortable bike, and I can see why people buy these. I would say the mid controls is probably another thing for me anyway. I would just have to get used to it. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little different riding position, but over time you probably get used to that. So I can flat foot this thing when I come to a stop, no problem whatsoever. It is a little bit wider sort of in the seat area where your legs are, so it does kind of spread your legs out just a little bit, but not terrible. And again, I'm used to Saddleman seats, so those are usually a little bit narrower up in the front, which honestly I prefer, just so you don't get that pressure when you're putting your feet down at a stop sign or a stop light. So we're actually heading back to the dealership now. We're on our last leg there. I don't know if it's going to show up, but I can actually see the Gateway Arch straight ahead. Here in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri, heading back to Gateway Harley-Davidson for demo days. And with that, I want to leave you with this thought after riding this Pan America. Life is short. Get out and ride the bike. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.